Greetings everyone, today I would like to continue my random talk about the random stuff, and there was a question, if you're claiming that Mongolian religion is a fire and Christianity is water, what about this European religion? You see, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is a Middle Eastern religion. What about this European paganism? Does it can be friendly with the Mongolian paganism? Something like that. I'm not an expert on European pagan culture, but I know that this your influence is like everywhere. For example, I have this table, and the table has a decoration. This eyes, nose, this mouth, and this beard. This is this green man. I heard it was a green man. It's this one looks like a skull, so it's so the influence of European culture is like everywhere. I'm sorry for the hair. I just had a shower and I was planning to go to work. But I told I could make this a quick video. When a Mongolian think about the European, we usually think about the Chutians. These graves with the horses, etc., etc. So one can say that for some Europeans, horse is very important. Like Vikings also have graves with the horses and etc., etc. And basically our northern neighbor Russians are half Vikings. So yeah, they have this their gods and these gods of war, etc., etc. So since I'm talking about this this spirituality and this paganism, etc., etc., the question is going to be, why paganism? Why not only this one true God, something like that? So when someone claims that there is a one true God, people will start ask this question about his or her sexuality. Is he a man or is he a woman? The answer will be he is asexual, like a Buddha. We know that his gender is male, but he's an asexual. He's not into a sex. This is somewhat this sad situation, because some of us feel happy when they are sexual. This this creates all kinds of this contexts. But if someone claims that God is omnisexual, or bisexual or something like that, it feels like this gay, So we like to have the idea that this God is purely male, and this purely male energy is something good, holy and stuff, or pure female energy is like good and holy, something like that. So there you have a God and you have the goddess. So there should be at least two gods. But now you add another stuff like hell. And you know that this hell is governed by not the God himself, But some dude with the horns who claims to be immortal, and he happens to be a god, another god. So you are having a trinity. Then you start to ask the sexuality of this god. Is he a man? Is he a woman? Something like that. So in order to keep this, to maintain, this male and female culture, you give this dude a wife. So he has this dark, nasty wife. The goddess of this something this dark desires of woman, and etc, etc. So this is how you get the idea of many gods. So for a Mongolian, the idea of Father Sky and Mother Earth, the two, this dual, this stuff, is important. And when someone claims that there is one true God, and God doesn't have this this little human stuff like sexuality, he doesn't care about it. It's like it's kind of sad. And some people would like to have a sex with their God. Why? Because they want to be treated as the treated closely, something like that. For example, imagine that you have sheep, and you do not have sex with your sheep, but you are the savior, guardian, and take care of this sheep. So it means you are the lord of the sheep, but sheep sheep just there to just mating with each other and etc, etc. So we would like to have God being our father, our children, and etc, etc. So there is somewhat this sexual connection. We were born from this God, something like that. So it is totally okay for a pagan to claim that I'm the son of Zeus, I'm the son of Hades, this the flames of mighty Khan is burning inside me because I'm his son, something like that. So in paganism, you view God as being your father's, this someone who is close to you, something like that. He's not. They are not the like this. They are just don't want unities. It means that if God is not, it's not my father. He is Lord. It means I'm a slave, and I may be a this food product. So it's a scary idea that it's better to call God as a father, something like that. So yeah, that's why the this paganism. It's like this some omnisexual dude or omnisexual or bisexual girl is claiming that I'm a better human being because I'm a bisexual, and worship me, almost like that. So God's sexuality or gender orientation was quite important. Of course, there can be this some mad ideas. This you see, every religion can have some kind of this madness. So let's continue with the European stuff. If Mr. Harry Potter was a Mongolian, and if Mongolia was so advanced that it had the school of magic and mystery, he would not go to the this 4 schools. I mean, choose one of the school, they say, but it would be 5, not 4. I know that Mr. Harry Potter is hated by the Christians because he's the one who must stop the resurrection of some Lord. So he must stop the resurrection. Resurrection is something good for Christians. So there should be an order of phoenix, fire. There should be order of snow lion, water. There should be order of dragon, this volcano, or this earth. There should be order of horse, it's in air. There should be an order of tiger. Tiger is a forest, jungle, tree, whatever you call it. So there is a 5 elements, traditional 5 elements: fire, water, air, stone or earth, and wood, something like that. In my opinion, in a Christian, this culture, you somehow despise the snake. Even if Christianity seems to be a water religion, and snake is the perfect, this symbol for water. But you despise it being, this devil, something like that. So, in my opinion, the snow line cannot, this represent water. It should be a snake. Dragon, since it's a mix of, this all kinds of stuff: deer, snake, crocodile, etc., etc. It's also, this quite messy stuff. So it can be, replaced by the bull. Here in Mongolia, we have saying transparent like a glass, stone like a bull, something like that. So stone is the bull. So according to these elements, religion can be divided. For example, to the south, there can be people who are into a stone, like Muslims who gather around one black stone, or Hindus who gather around this phallic stone. They wash it with, this with the milk, etc., etc. And there can be like, this. Like Chinese like to polish the stone, put the stone in their, this office and stuff. So they are very into a stone. We also have people who say that stone is very important. This stone structures is important. You have a pile of stone and you have to circle it, like Muslims circle their black stone. They would claim that by doing this you are going to purify yourself and something like that. There can be dudes that are into water, like Christians, this washing your sins in a holy water, etc., etc. Or if you drink this holy water, your liver will be healed, your eyes will be healed, etc., etc. So there are dudes who claim the power of water. They talk about the dude named Losing Han, the water lord. It's like a Poseidon. Personally, I don't know about his myth. Sometimes these characters have a myth, and the myth is always this strong and bold claim that he is the one who created the human beings, something like that. So I usually talk about the fire. I'm all fire. This fire is important, and there is a myth of Erik Khan. This how he influenced the human creation, and etc., etc. So there can be these tree huggers. They think this decorating a tree like in a Christmas is important, or visiting a mother tree is important, and carving something with a wood and displaying it on the altar is important, etc., etc. So they are into wood, and there is this magical wood or magical stuff or all kinds, this stuff. Also, there is a this quite powerful religion of air. I can this say Aryans. There is an Aryans. Fire, this Irlik Khan or Mongolian stuff, cannot unite the Central Asians, but air can unite. The biggest god of air is, of course, the sky. The sky father is the air, and we should be thankful, etc., etc. In order to be close to air, sky, you need to climb up on a top mountain, and you need to raise a prayer flag, etc., etc. And even riding a horse is something to do with this feeling the air, something like that. This air is quite why air can unite nomads, because almost every Turkic this nation has the common, used to have the common god, Tengri or Tangri, the sky god. So this fire, the fiery part of the religion, something to do with the hell and etc., etc., cannot unite the people. But this air, heavenly part, may have this chance to unite everyone, something like that. But there is a warning. If someone claims to have a burning heart, it's a compassionate, this good person. But if someone is cold, that having a gas in his heart, it's an aggressive dude. It's a bad guy. We call it Zurhundehite, has a gas or air in his heart, something like that. So I guess this European religion is like this. You have these elements, and you develop the idea around these elements, and you have even this tree worshippers or this plant worshippers. There can be this somewhat horse culture. Some are into water and etc., etc. Since this Europe was a big forest, I think the tree religion this was somewhat this strong, these wooden houses and wooden carvings, etc., etc. What else I can say? Well, you cannot switch from one element to another, so easily. If you're visiting, if you're going into a stone, if you're visiting the mother stone, something like that, or a special stone, you have to do it three times. Once every year, 3 years in a row, something like that. So, in order to receive the blessings, something like that. Or if you are this, putting the prayer in this flag, you need to do it 3 years in a row, one time every year, something like that. That's this somewhat this belief or rule, something like that. Well, that's pretty much for today, and thanks for watching.